Hey, greetings, dear Scorpio. This one's for you. There you are. This is Tarot Lumination, and this is your mini generic love and relationship report for June 2019. Thank you very much for being here. Cards were already well shuffled in advance, but I'm going to the last second so that you're a witness. For the regulars who come here a lot, you just fast forward to the cards if you want to. You don't even have to listen to the astrodoodle parts if you don't want to. If you just want to go for the cards, fine, okay? But I'm going to go through the preamble anyway, okay? So just settle in. Please invite your invisible friends. That's what we do here, okay? It is a group effort, okay? We're also going to use the Tarot Lumination Crucible spread on the understanding that there's you, Taurus, a significant other, and a third entity, a living, breathing thing itself called a relationship, okay? You guys own this, okay? Singles, too, you can even watch this if you really want to. But you have to allow for the laws of attraction in action. In other words, what are you radiating out to the universe regarding relationship? And what is potentially being mirrored back to you? Oh, no, oh, no, oh, no, right? So allow for that. We'll get back to the cards in a minute. I'm just going to do a little overview for the month. Okay, this is the basic stuff, okay? Very basic. You can mark your calendars. We have the new moon on the 3rd, Gemini new moon. Okay, that's over here in your second house of money, stuff, things, values, assets, your natural gifts and talents. You might be seeing yourself in a whole new way here. Like, who am I really? What are my real gifts? What are my real talents? And what am I doing with that? And how is that working at the most intimate parts of my relationship? Oh, okay. So it starts on the 3rd over here, and the full moon's on the 17th over here in your 8th house, okay? Sun moves into Cancer on the 21st. That's kind of comfortable for you. I'll just leave the rest here for your amusement. Over here, these are some trigger points. I decided to highlight these because there's an unrelenting trigger going on with the Cancer-Capricorn axis. It's here, 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 here. It's all month long, and it's just going to get heavier duty even into July. Okay, so I thought, well, we might as well just make a note of this. These are the days that I'm highlighting. Okay, got it. Now, because you're a Taurus, the Cancer-Capricorn axis is actually quite harmonious for you, so I'm not getting too freaked out about it, all right, in general. This is actually quite sweet for you. The Scorpio Grand Water Trine over here is really quite sweet for you. That's around the 14th, so you might get a little sweet spot in the middle of the month. And I don't think these are going to really hurt you really seriously, but they are stressors. They're for everybody. They don't exactly directly impact your love life. This would be your house of true romance over here in love, and this would be the relationship sector over here. So you can see that actually during the month at the middle, we do get that sweet spot all lit up. This funny, weird green triangular kite-shaped triangle thing is very, very sweet, okay? It's just a fleeting thing, like a sand painting, but that is the sweet spot of the month for you. Okay, Taurus? Everything else is just your typical month where there's a lot of conflict going on and a lot of amazing things going on simultaneously. Okay? Let's leave it at that. I use those charts, by the way, in personal readings, and if people really want to get deep into this stuff, I'm just sharing you a very, like a snapshot overview. So here we go. Cards are already well shuffled in advance. I'm going to the last second so that you're a witness. No jumpers, no flyers, no reversals, but we are going to include a little oracle at the end, okay? Just to sort of, wrap it up, put a ribbon on the reading at the very end, okay? So let's have a look. I'll show you what this looks like in just a moment. I'm still shuffling to the last second. Okay, good. We're good. We're good. We're good. So Taurus, please invite your invisible friends like I said. Let's make the most of this. That's what we do here. It is a team effort, okay? Bless the whole deck, every single card, okay? Bless you, Taurus, for being here. Bless Tarot Lumination, the channel, and the platform that we can even do this stuff at all, okay? It's a miracle, frankly. That's how I see it. Over here, what are you radiating? Think of yourself like a smartphone, okay? What are you radiating? You own that energy, whether you like it or know it or not. So be aware, what are we radiating here? Over here, the same thing for a significant other. What are they radiating over here? Deep, deep down in the soul of you. Are you aware of this? Maybe you are to a degree or not, who knows? Over here, the same with a significant other. At a deep soul level, this might be happening at a very subliminal level in here, but you might still be aware of it here, but you're not. It's not like out there in the activity of day-to-day life of the relationship, okay? Because you know how people experience relationships in terms of layers, like, oh, there's you, the body, there's you, the body, and you said that, and you did that, and I'm going here, I'm going to pick up the pizza, I'll do the dishes on the weekend, who's driving the kids, you know, did you pay the monthly bills, all that stuff, okay? That goes on anyway, but there's layers and layers and layers and layers that go on down beneath all that till you get to the core of the relationship itself. This is the Tarot Lumination Crucible spread. It is a bowl. It is a structure. Think of it as a potted plant if you want to. What is the nature of this thing right now? Are you busting out? Is it stable? Does it have solid foundations? Is there plenty of room for you guys to intimate and separate and grow and enjoy the relationship? We'll have a look and let's see what's coming out of here. Think of it like, again, like a potted plant. You own this. It's like you guys own this. What is it that you own and what does it look like? So there is the structure. We're going to look now at the weather, maybe the planets and environment, your surroundings, your the place where you live, the people around you, whatever it is. We have the Knave of Wands. Okay, so for you, Taurus, there's something happening in your environment around you, which is kind of like, oh yeah, oh yes, I can feel it. I know it's out there. To me, it feels like the universe is supporting you. Okay, the universe, the heavens, the planets, all of that stuff is actually very much in favor of you, what you're doing and how you're doing it. It wants the best for you. And it wants you to know that as well. In other words, it's almost like, to me, it looks like, let's say the planets or your angels, your heaven, or like people around you, certain people in certain ways or other, they're kind of dropping very subtle hints like, wow, I don't know what you're doing or how you're doing it, but it's pretty awesome. And keep going. That's really, really cool. And let's see how much we can make out of this, okay? It's really good, strong energy that's very supportive of you. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's some kind of grand plan that's all played out here. It's just that this is really supportive, okay? You are being supported by the universe, by the heavens right now. Let's just look at it this way. What I'm sensing is we're tapping into this stuff here. This is really sweet, the green stuff. And even this big, scary red thing, that's very supportive of you, okay? I'm not going to go into the details of the hows and whys. I'm just saying that it is good for you. And this is a message that this is good for you, okay? This is a nutritious environment, inspiring environment for you. It's like, it's encouraging for you. It's like the heavens want you to like go for it. And it's like, it's good weather, okay? What are you radiating here? Okay, so I might have got all the cards flipped upside down. Forgive me, I'm just going to upright them. So you might be looking around you, looking at your world and thinking, you know what? There's a lot of potential out there, but I have to admit, I'm really, really tied into some kind of three-dimensional limiting factor, which is actually a serious problem right now. The great thing is that there's a lot of good that goes with this. There are a lot of benefits by being very, let's say, heavily, let's say, I don't want to say entrapped, but let's say, I don't want to even use the word. It's just, it's willing, okay? So in other words, you're aware of it. In other words, you're aware of the limitations and the bindings of a relationship dynamic right now. But also the things that are really delicious about it. Sometimes there's things that are very, very satisfying about this, okay, energy. Now, I'm going to present some flip sides. For example, there could be a high degree of codependency going on here some way, shape, or form with others, or with a significant other, or in general with yourself. Like, dear Taurus, and you're looking at yourself, you're thinking, wow, you know what? In some ways, again, I am a Taurus, for example, and I really like stability. I like comfort. I like things to be very, very low risk. Sometimes I'm willing to put up with very, let's say, limited, constrained circumstances uh, if they provide a high degree of stability. On the other hand, I will admit to myself as a Taurus that this could be actually a limitation as well. This could be a binding factor. This could be strapped into something, literally like a ball and chain, taking it to the worst, like, wow, I'm in a serious ball and chain situation here. I'm trapped. I'm locked in. Yes, I might have a relationship, but what is the nature of the relationship? Am I actually on a leash? And is there a choke collar at the end of the chain? Is that what's actually happening? In other words, everything's great. I can have a most delicious, satisfying relationship, but I can only go so far. If I go too far, then the chain is pulled back hard and tight, and the choke collar rips into my throat. That's a problem. What about the other? Let's have a look. The Knight of Cups. I'm not saying this is a rescue thing. I'm not saying that you need rescuing, Taurus, but it looks like there is someone out there for you who really only wants what's best for you, and it's coming in kind of an old-fashioned, slushy, romantic way, almost like some kind of, one of those romantic English novel type things where there is a savior and a victim, like a hero and, someone who's need releasing. Is like there's a part of you that actually probably really enjoys the binding natures of physical reality and the comforts that they provide, but also it would be so nice to get out of this. Get out of this. If there's a codependency thing here or a very, very like secret invisible chain where everything is just great, so long as you don't pull the chain and like, or if the other party says, you know what, I think you're out of line, Taurus, excuse me. And there you go. In other words, okay, I'm over that now. It's just like, don't worry. Okay, you are released. Like, okay, and then you can go back to your regular life. Fine. Okay, that's okay up to a point, Taurus, but that's not marriage, or that's not love, or that's not a loving kind of situation. That's more like control and power plays and ownership. Like, how some people feel that they own you, like another party, like, cattle. Like everything's great. And everything's very, very, in other words, it's very conditional. Okay, so if you feel that is being imposed upon you, that's something to consider. If you are imposing this upon someone else, that's something to consider as well. Either way, out here around you, there is a significant other who's probably very acutely aware of what's going on, and they want to help in some way. They only have the best of intentions here, and they are, I'm not going to, oh gosh, I don't want to turn this into like an epic Disney movie. They're not going to come to the rescue, but I think they are aware of your situation, and it's almost like they are casting love upon you anyway. Okay, just anyway. In other words, I'm here. All I care about is the love. I feel very loving, love myself. I love others. I love you. I want what's best for you. I don't know how to help you. This is your energy. This is your situation. I'm here. This is my energy, my situation. Okay? This is how I am. I am simply love. I am an embodiment of love. I'm an instrument of love. I'm an instrument of love and healing. I deliberately move away from conflicts. And it's almost like, this is not my problem. This, like, I love you very much, but this is not my problem. Okay? This is yours, and I am here for you no matter what. But this is your problem. Okay, let's have a look. Deep down inside of you, with the Lovers, there's a lot of decision-making going on, dear Taurus. Like, oh my God, what is actually happening here? What is the difference between codependency and love? What is the difference between a highly conditional loving relationship where everything's great so long as you maintain and stay within the conditions and the limitations and the binding and the chains? Is that truly love? And how does that work? Who's involved here? How is that love being expressed to me? How am I expressing that love to another? How much does the other value me? How much do I value the other, like in a three-dimensional sense? So I'm just going to refer to this again. The houses of value, your values over here. You got Venus in Taurus for, sorry, that's over here. This is new moon in Gemini here. So the energy of self-worth and values is really going to come to light. And you might figure it out towards the middle of the month when the moon is in Sagittarius on the full moon. You understand a lot more what I'm talking about here. Like, how much am I truly valued? How much do I truly value the other? And what is the exact definition of our loving relationship here? What does it actually look like? Is this something that I've brought upon myself? Is this a fated thing? Is this something to do with destiny? How is this going to actually work? How am I actually going to tune in to like the really profound loving relationship that I actually deserve when I've got all this stuff going on? It's almost, to me, they're beautiful cards in their own bizarre, strange way. Like, I'm not scared of the devil card. I'm giving you my personal feelings here with Tarot Lumination about it. But it looks like they're very, there's a lot of awareness that's happening here between your three-dimensional waking self and your multi-dimensional soul self, okay? And you're realizing, my gosh, I didn't really see the full picture of love and relationship until like it was disclosed here, and like, wow, so what does this really mean? What do I really want? Who am I really with? Why am I really with these people, this person in this way? What does it mean for me? What does it mean for them? What am I going to do? What am I going to do in this relationship? In relationship in general. Over here, what about the other? Okay, Two of Swords. My feeling is that you have a significant other over here who is basically neutralized because of whatever's going on with you, Taurus. It's very personal, it's very deep, it's very profound at the deep soul level, and it's showing up in your physical day-to-day three-dimensional life as well. So that's, and it's kind of, to me, this looks quite extreme, and it's being noticed by a significant other. But it's such a, to me, this looks like a really profound, like aura type energy here, that it's really not appropriate for them to like get too deep in it with you. And so to me, it looks like they're over here, like way over here, more or less like observing and realizing that they're not powerless in the situation, but they don't want to interfere. I think right now they are observing and they are sensing things, like they're keeping their antenna very clear, very awake, and very open to observe and not make any opinions or rash moves or any kind of judgment or make any incredibly important decisions for this or that or in or out or how am I supposed to do this or whatever. To me, it looks like a very neutral energy that is all about senses, trying to understand you, trying to understand what's happening with you and the nature of the relationship itself, with only the best of intent. What about at the core here? So we have the Ace of Swords. Okay, so it looks to me that the relationship is in a really good place right now for exposing a lot of truth and reality and bigger pictures, bigger, greater wisdom and understanding for you, Taurus. Remember, it's not a couples reading. It's all about you. We're just allowing for your co-star here. Okay? So with the Ace of Swords here, my feeling is that this month, the Gemini season, which turns into the Cancer season, is a really, really good opportunity. This is a card of sacred opportunity. It's the Ace of Swords. And I think it relates very, very strongly with this energy up here, okay? Capricorn in the 9th house, opposed by the Cancerian energy later on in the 3rd house, okay? This is very much to do with higher consciousness, understanding what's going on in your higher consciousness, in your whole wide world, foreign relations, foreign people, foreigners in your life, in your love life, in your world, and at the same time, the people in your local life, okay? And understanding, what does this really, really, really mean here? This axis is very lit up all month. It is the Cancer Capricorn axis, regardless of whatever everything else is going over here. So to me, it looks like this axis is actually represented here as a sacred opportunity, where it's like, this is so cool. In other words, let's say it's not good, it's not bad, it's just this is what is. It's a time for great awakenings, great understandings, a chance to come to a higher level of like higher consciousness, great expanded wisdom, understanding about what's actually going on for you in your life, your world, in the bigger picture, not just this relationship. What's going on in your life, in your world, deep at the soul level with relationships, and especially a single in a particular relationship in general, but with relationships in general. It might be multiple people involved here. And so my feeling is that this is an amazing chance to discover and learn what this is all about, but not necessarily to do anything, okay? So with this energy here, to me, it's exciting, it's stimulating, it's encouraging for you to advance and grow and evolve and blossom in yourself as an individual, thanks to this relationship or these relationships or your whole world of relationships, like everybody with whom you are relating, which could include a very significant other, okay? So, to me, this is a beautiful thing to have here, where the relationship is basically here for you, saying, let's, dear Taurus, take advantage of me, this thing that you own with a significant other of some kind over here. There's a tremendous amount that you can learn about yourself in your three-dimensional life, and a tremendous amount, even more, that you can learn about yourself at the deep soul level of relationships. What is it you really want? What is it that you're really doing? Who's really out there for you? How do you truly define a relationship? What does a loving relationship look like to you, Taurus? Are you going to, let's say, continue with a ball and chain, shackles? Are you going to go for the real thing, where it's a very different story? This story is very different from this story, but it could be so easy to confuse them as the same story, okay? Let's have a look. What's growing here? Queen of Coins. Okay, so it becomes measurable. With the Queen of Coins here, to me, this looks very luscious and satisfying, that some way, perhaps through, I don't know, I don't see a lot of heavy stressors here. What I see is more to do with awakening, and having these like really powerfully fated circumstances happening for you. Let's just call that the weather. And remember, you've got Uranus and Taurus here. So you've got at the early stages of a 7-year journey, where I think of this is a lot to do with the awakening, and the extremes of what happens in love and relationship. And you get the chance to experience that coming back to you from a significant other, and a significant other in the way where you feel it very deep down, okay? And that gives you the chance to really fully understand, oh my gosh, what does love and relationship look like from like a really broad perspective? Like if you could view your life like you're watching a movie of you, and then what does that look like when you come back down to earth? Okay? That's how it looks like here. So this looks like it's like, to me, it feels like we're watching a movie as you go through this awakening, and seeing the extremes here, things that might look like love, but it's not love, okay? It's something very binding, and there's something deep down here which really, truly is love, but it's hidden, or it's not able to be fully expressed at the moment. And the relationship is saying, you know what? Thank you for taking advantage of me, because that's exactly what is going on. And you need to know this now. It is time for you, Taurus, to realize the full extent of what happens in love and relationship. And thanks to having the crucible, me, the relationship right here that you own with this other party, these other people, these relationships around you, you're going to discover all this. You're going to discover what this stuff really, really means for you. And what you discover is very, very valuable. Okay? You discover your value to others or to a particular other, and you get to realize how much you are deeply valued and appreciated by significant other or significant others. So there's a lot of like an equation going on here. There's a lot of measuring going on here. There's a lot of evaluating going on, like who loves me? Who really, really loves me? As opposed to like what I think or what I thought or what I was conditioned to be love. This is measurable love. Okay, this is very, very valuable. Again, with Pentacles, I look at the measurable assets or things like kindness, patience, consideration, respect, good listening, investing in the relationship, investing in the love, growing it like a beautiful plant, as opposed to strapping it down, tying it down and saying, I own you. Everything will be great so long as, pretend this could be a significant, this could be you, for example, Taurus, and then there's a significant other, and you're both in the binding, okay? And the other is just like, everything's just fine. This is true love as far as I'm concerned, just so long as you don't do this, or this, or that, or that. Or if I feel at any moment in time that you're out of line, then I'm just going to pull the chain and go, and the choke collar is going to kick in, and then you will understand what love means, okay? I tried to put the tone in there, because this is a different form of love. It's more like bondage, power games, okay? This is much more to do with a genuine love. But sometimes you don't know what these things are until they are exposed to you. And I think that's what's going to happen for you, Taurus, during this month. You're going to get the exposure and the exciting opportunity to discover this and what it really means to you. And what do you do from there? All right. Let's tuck this over because now you're going to get your oracle, okay? And I hope this helps. I'm going to tighten this up. I need some room, okay? We're going to use the Romance Angels deck. How sweet is that? Okay? So I love this deck. It's the only deck of hers that I have. Cards are well shuffled in advance. I hope this gives you a little bit of perspective or another angle on this whole thing, and it provides, let's say, a bit of color, a bit of clarification for this, okay? I'm going to call it out in a second. Any minute now when I feel ready, I'm just going to call out stop, okay? Stop. There we go. So this is your card. Let's have a look. It says here, let your friends help you, okay? Ask for and accept support from others. So, dear Taurus, if you're in a very binding situation right now and you're aware of it in your three-dimensional life, but you're also aware that there's so much more going on at the soul level, but you don't know how to figure it out, maybe it's time to reach out. Maybe you've got some girlfriends or guy friends. Maybe it's time to share the storylines and like ask them like very subtly, like, hey, listen, I'm in a situation here and I don't know really how to figure it out. Maybe if I just like, let's just say, how about this? I want to tell you a story. There's a friend of mine and they're in a really difficult situation right now. There's love everywhere and all like that, but there's this stuff going on. There's this sense of binding and I don't know how to deal with it. Like, so what would you advise me to tell to my friend? And then your friends say, oh, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about you. It's okay. Let's just be direct. And then you say, okay, all right. So let's have a look. In other words, you can't bottle this stuff up, okay? You can't bottle this. That would be very unhealthy. Okay, it says here for you, Taurus, the romance, excuse me, hold on. I'm a little bit of thirsty here. Give me a second. The romance angels are helping you via other people to the degree, excuse me, I'll start again. The romance angels are helping you via other people to the degree that you'll allow this assistance to occur. This card indicates that you need to be more willing to ask for guidance, especially within the context of your love life. For instance, discuss your feelings, hopes, and dreams. Then allow others to help you. Perhaps they'll offer support, give advice, or even know of a potential partner amongst their acquaintances. This card is a signal that you would benefit from spending quality time with your friends. If you're currently in a relationship, you'll get renewed enthusiasm by having regular outings with good friends. If you're single, then spending time with these special friends, these good people, will get you out of the house and bring in fresh energy. Your friends may also introduce you to a wonderful romantic partner. Anyway, the point is, like, this looks like a very, very intense thing to handle on your own. It looks like you're in a good spot here to take full advantage of the love that you have around you in your life already and to learn and grow from this. But it does require, let's say, like they said here, literally go to your friends. Ask for feedback, reflection, support. Like, well, what do I do? What would you do in this situation? Have you ever encountered something like this before? I'm a bit embarrassed to admit this, but I've also got this going on, and I don't know what to do about this. I don't know what to do about this, and let's go hang out and talk. You know? All right, Taurus. I hope this helps. There's got to be someone there, Taurus, that you can trust. Okay, someone with whom you can confide, who might not be a party to the direct one-on-one relationships. In other words, if you are in this very binding thing with a significant other and you can't talk with them about this thing, in other words, like, you can't talk about this with the significant other with whom you are in that thing, okay? Because it's beyond your handling right now. Reach out. Same thing with deep at the soul. If you know that deep down in the soul, there's something really profound going on, perhaps very, very different, but you can't necessarily blurt it out or gibber about it directly with the significant other because it's too big, it's too profound, it's too undefined as yet, and it feels like it's a fated thing and it's out of your control. Maybe it's time to share in a very, let's say, discreet, polite way the storylines of what's happening with you, with friends, like, forget about this one for now, with friends, like they said here, and then discover more and more, okay? You're in a sweet spot. It's okay. It's just that to me this looks like a real learning thing. That Sagittarius Gemini angle on that. I'm looking. Let me go back. Sorry, this is taking a long time for this reading. Excuse me. I mean, the full moon and the new moon here might trigger the some of this stuff that we're talking about here, but I think the real understanding, the real depth of understanding is going to come from the Cancer-Capricorn axis, where you're going to have to discover about, like, what's really happening with you in harmonious, loving ways, okay? It's very supported towards the middle of the month. And how does that work for you in the big picture? And then what's actually happening down here on the ground? Because it might be a very different story. Like, this story up here might be a very different story from what's happening here. And this is what needs to be discussed. Basically, I'm aligning this up with this and this up with this, okay? That's what I'm trying to get at here. I hope this makes sense to you. Thank you very much. Sorry I messed up the spread and the looks of everything. It's kind of a jumble now, but you know, that's enough. Yeah, I hope you get the picture. Thank you, dear Taurus. Enjoy. Have a great June. We'll see you again in July, all right? Oh, by the way, thank you very much. Do all the subscribes, the likes, the comments. I love all that stuff. It really helps. If you really want to support the channel, do the membership thing. Check it out. It's all in the links below. Bye-bye. All the best. Bye-bye. You're lovely. Look at that. This is what you're growing. Look at that. There is love out there. Look at that. You do have love. Just got to figure out what does it all mean and how does it all look.